Hi, I'm Nate. We're here at Dunbar with Miss S, and I'm just going to ask her a few questions about our ELR. So, number one, how well do you feel prepared to teach ELLs?
I feel very well prepared to teach ELLs. Over the summer, we were all required to become ESL certified as ELR teachers. So we all either had to do a prep course or prep on our own before we went and took the ESL state test. So we were required to be prepared before we came in
For sure.
for the 18-19 school year.
Awesome. Number two, did you complete a traditional program or an alternative certification?
I have my alt cert through Strong Teachers Day 1 through Tech, and then once I had my alt cert with ELAR, I went and took the ESL cert.
Sweet. Number three, what can the school or district do to help you meet the needs of ELLs?
I think the district could do more training on ELLs because we do get the ESL training, which is like before you get into the classroom, before you actually have ELLs in front of you. And I feel like there's no really follow-up training as to what to do once you do have them in your classroom and you come to a problem or you come to a point where they are struggling and they do need more help. There's no really follow-up training after that.
Perfect. Number four, in your opinion, what are the characteristics of effective ELL programs?
I think the effective characteristics of an ELL program require scaffolding. It requires a lot of scaffolding for the ELLs. I only have a couple, but they do require a bunch of scaffolding. I do it independently with them a lot of the times just because it's not necessary to scaffold for the whole class. And when you only have one ELL in a class of 20, I'll scaffold things independently with them. I will do oral admin with them. I would say those are effective, having alternative resources for them that not all the other students have. Some have accommodations, some don't. Not necessarily 405 specific though.
Makes sense. Number five, how many languages are represented in your classroom?
In my classroom, only 2.
Okay, that's what I figured. Number six, in what ways are you providing effective instruction for ELLs?
So I have one ELL this year, only one, and she prefers to read in Spanish. So all of her tests, I give her the option to use a Spanish-English dictionary. That way she can use it just like all the other students get to have their dictionary. She has her Spanish-to-English dictionary. I do oral admin for her as well, just because sometimes me reading something to her will make more sense and she can translate it better inside her head than her reading it. So I do those 2 things for her.
Awesome. Number seven, how do you communicate with parents who do not speak English?
Well, I speak Spanish, so it's a little bit easier for me to communicate. I guess that does help.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and most of my parents do speak. They're bilingual, so it's not super hard to communicate with them with the Spanish that I speak.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier.
And then last question, I will be in my own classroom next fall. What recommendations do you have to help me prepare to teach ELLs?
I would say always asking the ELL what they feel comfortable with, because I have a couple who were ELL and they're still technically considered ELLs, but for example, I have one in one of my classes who doesn't need a dictionary. So we've communicated that back and forth. What do you feel like you need to be successful in a reading class that's in English? And they'll be very open and honest with you. They feel like they do need that dictionary. They do need that oral administration. Being communicating those needs back and forth with that student, and then data, very heavy on data, determining what does work for them, if using that dictionary does help them, if doing that oral administration does help them, if scaffolding does help them. Your data is going to reflect that.
Awesome.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Of course.